YouTubers, what is going on? How y'all doing tonight on this Thursday evening? And again, we've got a lot to cover, of course, before this weekend. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight and tomorrow night as well. Tonight, I'm doing this preview predictions for Clash of the Castle. I'm going to try to get my Dynamite review in from last night. Tomorrow will be, well, I doubt I'll do it tonight, but tomorrow I will do my preview for All Out, and I will also do my preview for SmackDown, my review of SmackDown as well. And of course, at some point over the next week or so, I will of course review Clash of the Castle and All Out as well. Which show am I excited for? Well, you will find out in a minute. As let's get rolling into my preview and predictions. So what is going on, guys? As always, this is the Club of Demand 1993, and we are live for WWE's Clash at the Castle 2022. Takes place this coming Saturday, September 3rd, 2022, which will be the 3-year work anniversary where I currently work at, which means that I will get another week's worth of vacation. Yes! But enough of my personal life, of course. This show takes place this coming Saturday, September 3rd, 2022, at Principality Stadium, I believe it's called, in Cardiff, Wales, out in the UK. And let me tell you something. If Vince McMahon was still here, I'd be not doing preview predictions for this. I'd be saying this is just a blood money show, and it's not worth your time. Just a WWE product just 2 months ago was not worth your time. Right now, though, it is. And I'm going to be 100% honest here. I am actually more excited for Clash at the Castle than I am for All Out. All Out's still going to be fine. My expectations right now, though, aren't quite as high as they would be for an AEW pay-per-view. But I'm not afraid to set my expectations just a little bit more. For this show. Because right now, WWE is pulling some things out of the bag that I just didn't think would happen. The people that are showing up, returns happening, people coming back to the company, people who are requesting their release from AEW right now. As I said, within the past month, the landscape in the wrestling business has changed. Big time. WWE is starting to become that place to eventually be. People are going to, all these other promotions. But now people are more so saying, someday I want to be in WWE. Shows like this, where you get to wrestle in front of 60,000 people, is why people originally wanted to get to WWE. They wanted to have that big moment in the spotlight. They wanted to be able to have that big crowning moment worldwide on the biggest company with the biggest influence on wrestling of all time. And this show has been just built fantastic. It's a 6-match card, but I can safely say I'm looking forward to pretty much just about all these matches. It's going to be a really, really good show. Could we see some surprises? We'll see. We'll talk about that, though, when we get to it. So first, of course, let's check the lovely live chat and see who we got here in the live chat. So we've got JR. What's up, JR? Hearing a rumor that they're bringing back Braun Strowman next week on Monday Night Raw. Which I have heard that too, and it seems very heavily rumored. So I'm pretty sure it's going to happen on Raw. I will talk about that though on my SmackDown review tomorrow. I'm going to keep this one solely just for Clash of the Castle, but I'll talk about my thoughts on Braun very likely coming back to WWE. All I can say is I'm a little bit surprised he's coming back, but not completely upset he's coming back. But a little, also. We'll talk about the though tomorrow. We got Tyler. What's up, Tyler? Saying how he thinks Drew should win. His usual campaigns of they should split the world and tag titles and get rid of the women's tag titles. He wants Charlotte to come back, and he wants Ronda Rousey to be fired. And he thinks Liv is nerdy. He'll be happy that it'll be a big boy Braun comes back to WWE and Bray Wyatt. That's what he's hoping. Well, again, Braun, it's looking very likely. Bray, maybe. We will wait and see. Because there is going to be some surprises this weekend. Probably on this show. And of course, on All Out as well. Because there is a Joker in that casino ladder match. We'll see who it is. We did get a surprise re-debut / return this week on Dynamite. We'll talk about that as well, of course, when we get to what's it called? Crap. My Dynamite review tonight as well. But let's roll in and talk about this show. So as always, and again, this is the first time in over a year I'm doing a preview and predictions that for WWE that's not SummerSlam or WrestleMania. And may I again say, especially in my Raw and SmackDown reviews, the audience has been very lively and it's been very fun. Again, at this point, I probably was going to, ease back because I was getting burned out. But with Raw and SmackDown reviews coming back and other new content coming to the channel that I'm excited about doing after I wrap up some of, like the projects I'm about to wrap up, like my Seinfeld reviews and my Harry Potter Let's Play, I feel like I've got the fire reignited in me again and I'm enjoying doing this stuff again. So thank you guys, as always, for making my live chats fun. Unless you're a troll, then get the hell out. But let's roll. Now, let me mention this also for those who are watching live. I will not be watching Clash at the Castle live on Saturday. I'm waiting till the evening because I'm going to be watching it with some friends. So do not send me any spoilers. Do not ask for my opinions on things. I am watching this show this weekend. Not till later, though. So please, no spoilers. As of now, there's no pre-show match. But I think a hot opener to really get the crowd going is a hard-hitting affair. But for the Intercontinental Championship, it is Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion, versus the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. Father! Okay, never mind. Or, are you not entertained? It's a heel-on-heel match, yes. But I think for a pay-per-view match, especially I think this is Gunther's first title defense on pay-per-view on the main roster. I think this is going to be an excellent match. I still loved that promo last week of when basically Pete Dunne, yes, I'm saying Pete Dunne because I'm having hope that they're going to make him Pete Dunne again and not Butch. Maybe start playing the seeds somewhat in this match, maybe. Having Pete Dunne become Pete Dunne again and not Butch. Especially in his home country, as we will be in Cardiff, and he's from the UK. I think this is going to be an incredible hard-hitting match. Like I said, I still love how, again, they were brawling, and then Gunther and Sheamus did not take their eyes off each other. But, again, there's a great story here. Sheamus has never won the Intercontinental title in his career. Gunther's looking for more competition, of course. And some more efficient ones. I don't know, have we seen Gunther take on someone his own size? Besides Cassius Ohno in NXT UK, I don't know if he has. I really don't know if he ever has taken on somebody his actual size. Because Sheamus, he's a big boy. He's 6'4", 260, around the same size as Gunther. That's what I'm hoping for. But I think this will be an incredible, hard-hitting match. And I think it'll be a nice way to heat up the crowd at the beginning. So I think no matter what happens, Gunther's retaining. I don't think he's going to drop the Sheamus. This is a way to, give Gunther another big victory over, a bigger name. Because he hasn't had too many big victories so far. I mean, his match he had with Nakamura a few on SmackDown was very great. Of course, he did throw Ricochet when Triple H took over. And get this, too, if I said this before, Ray, I'm sorry. Right before Vince retired, he was getting ready to give up on Gunther. How on earth are you going to give up on a big man? Someone who easily fits the image. Why? Because he can't speak English well or whatnot? Or he has more of an accent? I don't know. So that would have been stupid if they would have given up on Gunther. It would have been so dumb. Anybody that given up on it's been so dumb. But I think he wins, and I'm also again hoping something happens in this match that starts to plant the seeds for Butch to become Pete Dunne again, and probably split from the Brawling Brutes. If they want to keep Sheamus and Ridge Holland together, that's fine with me. I think, they still got work to do, but I still think there's something there between them two. I like both of them. So, we'll see, though. But that, I think, should open up the match. And as of now, let me see here. Spoiler alert, this is the only title I'm predicting is going to change. I mean, title I'm predicting that is not going to change. Since our second match, the SmackDown Women's Championship match, Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler are going one-on-one. As I've said the past couple weeks since I started reviewing the weekly shows again, and of course since SummerSlam as well, they backed themselves into a corner with Liv Morgan as champion currently. I know they're trying not to, pull what they did with Nikki Ash last year. They did not, thank goodness. They're also trying not to pull what they did with Bayley in 2017. That's still a little debatable, because I still was not the biggest fan of Liv coming out and saying, I did whatever it took, I'm going to do whatever it takes to retain this title. That kind of gave a little bit of a heel momentum on her. And Liv Morgan, I'm sorry, should not be a heel. I think as a heel, well, then again, Triple H is in charge, so it could be different this time, but I hated when she was a heel with the Riot Squad. I just thought she was weak. She looked very weak. But as a babyface, she can easily get the babyface momentum, the babyface sympathy. This title reign, though, like I said, they backed themselves into a corner, it feels like, with Liv. So it may be best to kind of hit the reset button with this by having Shayna Baszler win the title from Liv Morgan. That way, of course, Shayna wins the title. Ronda's supposed to be appearing on SmackDown tomorrow. I think have Shayna win the title here, and the next pay-per-view do like a submission match or something with Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. And then maybe give Liv a pay-per-view off or something, just to kind of restructure the story a little bit, just to give Liv some type of new direction before trying to put the title back on her. Even though I don't think that's going to be the case. I think eventually Ronda is going to get the title back, whether it's from Shayna or if it's from Liv. But I think the right thing to do here is drop the title to Shayna, let Shayna get some momentum back too, because Shayna's done decent under Triple H taking back over so far. But they still have a little more work to do. She's definitely not, on fire like Kevin Owens is right now. But I think she's heading back in the right direction. So I think it wouldn't hurt to put the title back on her right now and then tease a match with Ronda and Shayna. Because remember, whenever Ronda did crash SmackDown a couple weeks ago, they did kind of have that segment where Shayna says, that's not how we do it around here. So that could be a reason to lead to an actual match with Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Eventually, though, the match at WrestleMania, though, even though I'll still say this, I still don't think it needs a title. Yeah, go with that. You don't have to give Ronda the championship. But eventually, the match at WrestleMania this year for women has to be Becky and Ronda one-on-one. And like I said, you don't have to have the title on the line. Because that feud is going to be much more something else besides the title. It's about, a personal story, basically, between the two of them. So, yeah, I think they should give Shayna the title here. And kind of hit a reset button on Liv and give her a new direction for the story again. Because her coming out after the dusty finish she had at SummerSlam and saying, I'm doing whatever I can to hold this title, that was not the right way to go with that, I felt. So, like I said, it's time to reset Liv. Again, they backed themselves to a corner with this title reign, give her a fresh start, in my opinion. So that's that match. Following this, in my opinion, may possibly be the best build for any of the matches on this show. One of them, at least, maybe. Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle. Yes, not Riddle, Matt Riddle. And that's not me just being, stubborn. He legitimately is Matt Riddle again. And I love that that's the case. This build to this match has been incredible. From, Seth Rollins mocking Riddle whenever he was still being the comedy, goofy, whatnot guy, to then, taking away the match at SummerSlam kayfabe-wise, which was a great move, and bringing out this more serious side of Matt Riddle. I love it. I absolutely love it. You first off hear the rumors that these two, for real, do have heat with each other. I think, 2 years ago, I think it was, they were building, they were saying how, these two really didn't want to collide with each other and work each other in the ring. Well, now they are, and that real life heat is really, and how personal this story has gotten. It's been incredible. And again, like I said, the transition to Matt Riddle's more serious character is just impressive as well. I love it. Again, Seth Rollins may be rumored to have been taking the most losses this year so far, but I still think he looks excellent and credible for someone to get a victory over, for sure. Now, as far as who will win this match, though, that is still tough. That's still very tough. I can't pick one. Because to me, it felt like they somewhat gave Rollins like the victory somewhat at SummerSlam. Whenever he took out Riddle, of course, even though, of course, it led to a brawl. But I felt like Seth getting the upper hand. And he's gotten some wins in recent weeks over even under Street Profits and whatnot. I don't know, though. Here's the thing. I kind of want to see this feud continue. But I feel like they got to do it in a way where Riddle got lucky. So I'm predicting Matt Riddle wins by a roll-up or something like that at this show. A great match, but a roll-up. And I think it will lead to an eventual match at Extreme Rules. I think that's the next pay-per-view in October, I think. Extreme Rules. I think this match, again, at first, I was thinking Falls Count Anywhere, which I still think they can still have involved. But I think this feud may be worthy of Extreme Rules. With how personal and how vicious this feud has gotten, I think they could go with that. I think this should be led to an Extreme Rules match. Which is why I'm going to have this. I wanted it to look like, Matt Riddle comes out looking great, but he does a roll, but it looks like he gets a little lucky. And Seth Rollins just goes after him again and says it was a fluke. So why not continue this for one more match and give us an Extreme Rules match? So Matt Riddle wins by a roll-up. We go to Extreme Rules, and this be an Extreme Rules match. And the thing, too, also, as I keep saying, a couple months ago, especially when it was rumored at first, they were considering having Matt Riddle win this past year's Royal Rumble. I'm like, cool, but I don't know if I could have bought it. Just recently, 2 months ago, when Matt Riddle had a match with Roman Reigns on SmackDown for the Undisputed title. Great match, but with how he's been booked, did you really believe Matt Riddle was going to win the world title? This Matt Riddle, though, I could definitely see win the world title. And I'm still going to say this to this day. I still think when the time comes for them to have someone turn on the other for RK Bro, I still really think Matt Riddle should be the one to do it. Not Randy Orton. Have Riddle do it. That is honestly interesting me more right now. Again, coming from the same guy who said for years Randy Orton is meant to be a heel, I think he could be babyface against a heel Riddle. So, I'm still predicting that. Someday. We will see. But that's that match. Let's talk about the next one. Wrong buttons here. Speaking of heel turns, let's talk about this match. Edge and Rey Mysterio teamed up to take on the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Of course, Rhea Ripley, Dominic Mysterio's Poppy, will be in the corner of Judgment Day, and Dominic Mysterio will be in the corner of Edge and Rey Mysterio. This has to be, it's got to be it. It's been teased so many times for the past month, ever since that go-home show in Madison Square Garden. But it's been teased so many times. That turn from Dominic is coming. And a tease of tension just a couple weeks ago with Dominic and Edge, where Edge accidentally speared Dominic on Raw after SummerSlam. And then Dom, shoved Edge and basically, got a little mad. And now, of course, to take on Judgment Day again, Edge and Rey Mysterio are teamed up because Rey Mysterio wanted more experience. Which I'm pretty sure, storyline-wise, would bother Dominic. And we've seen Rey and Dominic take on the Judgment Day how many times? So, the thing is I would go with Rey and Edge, because I still get the vibes at times that the idea is for Edge to destroy what he created in the Judgment Day, and then have Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley go their separate ways. But again, the problem is I still see so much potential in this stable for Judgment Day. So, again, that's why I'm still hesitant on having them lose, because they've also lost several times already to Rey and Dominic as well. So I think either two things could happen here. The one I think that just needs to finally happen for once is Dominic turns heel and turns on Rey and costs them the match and joins Judgment Day. Or, I've heard someone pitch this recently. Or I feel like a couple people may have pitched it. I can't remember. What if Bray Wyatt returned and he's the new leader of the Judgment Day? Either way, I still think Judgment Day need to come away with the victory here. Like I said, this stable with Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley, again, all three people that Triple H trusts, and that he would definitely push to the moon. I still feel like there is some potential behind the stable. Just because, Edge got pulled from it and it got hollow for a hot minute, doesn't mean I think it can't work. I really think it can work. It's starting to go somewhere with it, it feels like. But adding someone in Dominic could be a swerve. Again, adding in Bray Wyatt as their leader will definitely be a way to introduce a new character. Because I still think even if Bray does come back, he needs to repackage again. Because I feel like, the Fiend character is dead, in my opinion. But I'm going to go with what I think is more likely going to happen, that I think just needs to happen because they've teased it so many times, is the Judgment Day win thanks to Rey turning on... Dominic turning on Rey and Edge and cost them the match. And he himself embraces his Poppy, Rhea Ripley, and joins the Judgment Day. So, that's what I'm thinking for match number 4. We then got match number 5, which is probably either the best or the second best build for this show, second to Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle. This could seem like just a normal 6-woman tag match we see every week on Raw. But again, I've really loved the build for this. Again, the build is giving me War Games vibes. And again, it's reminding me a lot. Again, this stable with Bayley, Dakota Kai, who I still can't believe that is back, and Io Sky. It just reminds me of how the Undisputed Era was booked when they first came into NXT 5 years ago. It's what it reminds me of. So, the build for this has been excellent. And of course, besides, the semifinals for the women's tag titles, these six have not, gotten too much offense on each other, but they've been built as prominent roles on the show, I feel like. Of course, I think, because, they kind of wanted to give the babyfaces the rub on the go-home show, I think that's a sign. I think that the heels need to win this. And someone said have it by having Bayley pin Bianca, which I'm fine. The only thing is, though, I hope Bayley has a better performance than she did, not this past Raw, but the Raw before, because that match she had with Aaliyah was, that was not good. But I think either way, the heels need to win this, and probably next week sometime, we will be getting Dakota Kai and Io Sky winning the women's tag titles, because, again, Aaliyah pinned the wrong person in that match. So, but yes, that'll be a great match. It'd be nice, of course, to see, some, if, it'll be nice, though, to see, if they ever bring somebody back. Because, like I said, I still really want this to be a War Games match. I still really want War Games with these three. Like I said, when Becky comes back, I feel like she's going to want to get her revenge. Unless, only reason why I can think of why they took out Becky is if when Becky comes back, Bayley has the title by then, and it's Becky versus Bayley for the women's title, which could be interesting. But I still think we need something different. Like, I really, really don't want Survivor Series to be a brand warfare again. I really want War Games. Again, bring back Becky, and then bring back... I'm trying to think of what female star you could bring back to be in the corner, to join Bayley's group. It's so tough. Again, Sasha would be a swerve, but I don't think it's going to happen when she comes back. Because I think it's too soon to try to put them back together. Mando, who else would be? Unless Charlotte did it, but who knows. But I want War Games between these women. It feels like that. Again, like this female stable that Bayley has, the way they're booked just reminds me so much of how Undisputed Era was booked when they came into NXT. Just my opinion. And then, the main event. The long-rumored main event. We've heard this for several months now. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre for the undisputed Universal Championship. So, here's my first concerns going into this match. Number one, Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre have fought before. In 2019, they had a couple of matches. And although they were good, I do agree something was a slight bit off, and I felt like they didn't have as good of chemistry as you thought they would. Their match at Survivor Series in 2020 was better, of course, but it also felt like there was something that was just missing. So I don't know if they have the greatest not the worst, but the greatest chemistry in the world to put on an absolute clinic. But I keep saying this, especially the past month. Before then, I feel like something was missing from Drew being world champion again. I feel like, they kind of backed off. I mean, yes, it was not this past summer, but summer before, we wanted them to back off on Drew. Give him a breather. Because it was starting to get to a point where people were starting to boo Drew, which I didn't want to see happen. I did not want to see Drew McIntyre become the next Roman Reigns. As a babyface. I did not. I couldn't bear to see that happen to him. But I do think, of course, also, their idea of backing off also just downgraded him a little bit. Because all he was doing for a year was fighting just having matches, winning matches, but he was fighting people that meant nothing. Like a Jinder Mahal, a Baron Corbin, Madcap Moss. He wasn't really fighting anybody to keep him, looking like a badass that much. And then, like I said, the big thing I heard is, again, I respect the fact that they named the sword after his deceased mother, but I still even think to this day that making the sword like a child's play toy instead of just shoving it into that one hole on the ramp and to set off the pyro, I thought was incredible. But now that the way they booked the sword, that's hurt it, I feel like, in my opinion. But the promos he's cut, especially that promo he cut on Kevin Owens on Raw. And the video package, of course, he's cut as well, have been impressive. There is some interference I think could happen in this match. The Usos are going to interfere for sure. I could definitely see them having Karrion Kross get involved in this match, since he seems to be targeting Drew McIntyre already. Even though I thought he was targeting Roman Reigns also, but he's backed off from that a little bit. I could definitely see Kevin Owens maybe getting involved in this match. Because, of course, you know, what his story with like Roman Reigns saying he owes him one. And, of course, obviously the tension they're building up with him in the bloodline and the tag titles. And I still think they could even well do here, have Sammy be disowned by the bloodline and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn face off against the Usos for the tag titles in like a tornado tag match, Extreme Rules. Be incredible, wouldn't you think? I also read read a rumor that what if Bray Wyatt returned and took out Roman Reigns and costed him the match. My big thing is, though, is that if this is going to be a moment for Drew, which I agree it should be, this should be the moment that they make up for, you know, the moment he was not able to get in front of fans at WrestleMania 36. So I still think Drew should come away with the win for this. Yes, have some chaos, but don't make it look like he only won because he had interference. Like, yes, have interference, so it looked like the interference didn't matter and Drew still wins, you know, pretty dominantly. But this is Drew's time. This is Drew's moment for him to get back what he was not, to experience what he was supposed to experience at WrestleMania 36 in front of his home country too. So I'm sticking with my prediction. Drew is winning. Maybe a debut from Bray Wyatt or a return. If not, maybe like, you know, some run in from like Kevin Owens, the Usos, or even Karrion Kross as well. We'll have to wait and see though. We'll have to wait and see. And with that being said, I'm going to take a little breather before I do my AEW review, but that is my WWE Clash at the Castle 2022 preview and predictions. Again, my predictions were Gunther retaining the title over Sheamus, Shayna Baszler dropping the title of Morgan, Matt Riddle winning with a roll-up on Seth Rollins, and of course with the SmackDown Women's title, Liv Morgan appears and teases a match with her and Shayna. Matt Riddle wins with a roll-up to lead to like a false count anywhere Extreme Rules match with Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins at Extreme Rules. The Judgment Day will defeat Edge and Rey Mysterio after Dominic turns on Rey. Bayley, Dakota, and Io win the 6-1 tag match, and Drew McIntyre wins the Undisputed titles. So it's that. We check the live chat. Then I'm taking a quick breather because I'm a little sleepy. I might need a power nap really quick before I do my Dynamite review. Live chat. Let's see here. Tyler thinks that Survivor Series should not be brand warfare. I 100% agree. I'm going to review the N64 Classic WWF No Mercy. Nice. AJ, Asuka, and Alexa should go back to SmackDown. They should have made the Riddle versus Rollins no DQ or falls count anywhere, because no way these two are going to stay within the rules of the match. That is for sure, which is why I keep thinking they should save for like a big, you know, have a solid match here, but also like have us wanting more of a stipulation. Like I said, Extreme Rules, falls count anywhere, it would be amazing. He got the feeling also that Dominic is going to turn heel, which they just need to do it. Just do it, because it's driving me nuts. Tyra wants another pay-per-view match with Charlotte and Asuka, maybe. And thoughts on the new AEW video game. I've seen the previews. It's coming out for the Switch, so I plan on getting it. Hopefully I'll be able to learn something, though, because anytime I play any wrestling video games, the controllers are so confusing, but I definitely plan on looking to getting it. But that, guys, that's my preview and predictions for WWE's Clash at the Castle 2022. I will try to review my Dynamite from last night before I go to bed, but I am a little heavy. I might need to rest my eyes for a minute or two. But I will try to review Dynamite at least tonight, and then All Out and SmackDown will be tomorrow. And of course, sometime over the next week or so, hopefully I will be able to review Clash of the Castle and All Out. Like I said, I'm definitely a little more excited for Clash of the Castle than I am for All Out. And that does it, guys. So, guys, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. What are your predictions for WWE's Clash at the Castle 2022? Do you think we're getting any surprise returns? Again, though, as I said at the beginning of this review, or preview, do not send me any messages about any, like spoilers or anything, or ask me any opinions on what happened in the show. Because again, I am not watching it live on Saturday. I am going to be watching it later on in the evening with some friends. So don't text me any spoilers. But I will not be able to review probably until early next week. So that does that. So again, as I said, give me a little bit. I need to take a little bit of a breather. Got to rest my eyes for a minute or so. But I will come back up here and talk about Dynamite from last night. Maybe some other AEW news. But again, there's some big news that Braun Strowman's coming back to WWE on Monday. I will talk about that in my SmackDown review tomorrow, though. I'll save that for that. But guys, once again, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAirboy93. Until then, guys, I'll check it out. I'll catch you guys all soon. Peace out, everybody.
Yeah, I know I will survive. There's no escape.